Okay, this is making a mat. So for competition, for PPA, or whatever, this is how I make my mats. So I'm going to select a color and make that a color fill layer. Ignore all of these other layers, I'm going to make this flattened so that I can show you a little bit easier. So I'm making my rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to drag it over so that I can select the image. I'm going to hit Command J, and I'm going to turn on my color fill layer underneath of it. Now I'm going to select it, but I'm going to hit Command. I'm going to flatten this real quick. This will just be easier so I can show you a little bit. So that's my background. That's a solid color. And I have my image that's cut out on top of it just so that you can see there's the pixelized in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and select the image. So I'm just dragging around it to select it. Now I'm still on that background layer. So you can go to select inverse. That is all of the area around your image, and hit Command J. Now you have a border. So if you're thinking about physical prints, that is basically your mat on top of your image. That way you can see it, and it's cut exactly to your frame. So it will go around your image. And if you want to modify any of that, you can double click the layer with the mat. But I'm going to put a color back behind it just so that you can see this is our separate border layer and our image is in it. Now, because I gave a little bit of space in between the mat and the image, you'll be able to see that gray line around it. You can do a stroke around the image, which is necessary for PPA competition. I like to select a color that's already in the image for both the mat and for the keystroke. Usually the 3 pixel goes pretty well. I will hit inside. You can change it to, normal. You can change the blend mode, whatever. I'm going to put opacity at 100 just so that we don't have any extra weird stuff going on. I'm going to make this image just a little bit bigger so that we can see how our key line or stroke line looks. And that edge looks a little bit frayed. Now judges will be able to see stuff really clearly, so I like to have everything be really concise, even down to the pixels, the smallest pixels. So right now I'm just trying to see why that corner was kind of fuzzy. So this is an option if you want to double click it and make the effects of the stroke layer. Or, now I'm doing this video for a friend. This is a friend's image. This is not my image. So I'm going to write or because I don't have this voiceover as I'm sending it to him. But once you have your image and you have that matte border, you can just go do a rectangular key line around it if you want it to be really sharp and it's giving you that edge that's a little bit blurry. So you can see I'm going to turn off our background, or I'm just going to turn off, I'm going to turn on the image so that we can see the size of the image. And I'm going to make this 3 pixels, and I'm going to choose our stroke color to be gray, and I'm going to empty out that fill. Now I'm just going to put the cursor right on the edge of the image. I'm going to drag it all the way to the other side. All the way over here. And I like to zoom in just because it's so much easier to see where you're going to be at exactly. And go all the way down here. And I'm going to drag it right to the edge. And that will show us our key line And then that way, if you want to go back in, you can change color, you can move it around. I like to unclick this lock layer and make sure that it's right on the edge. So that means that as you change the size, you're going to be able to move each side individually and it won't affect all of the other sides. Make sure that after you're done, you go back and you click that lock emblem, because otherwise if you try and resize something later, you'll be like, why is it all wonky? So here's our key line. That's going to be really sharp. I'm going to turn on our background. And this is a very simple way to do a mat. Hope you enjoyed.